Thank you for joining Power to the Pod, a conversation that builds our community through an intellectual integrity and a moral honesty. Now your host, Superior.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy, Superior, back for a second episode. Yes, like I said, I will be recording every Tuesday and Thursday. And guess what? Today is Thursday. So you have another episode with your boy Superior. So once again, thank you for listening. And today we're going to be talking about Mr. Biden and his speech that he gave a couple days ago at the State of the Union, and some of my, I guess it's probably a lot of issues with what he had to talk about. And we're here to talk about Candace Owens. And if you guys have seen any of my YouTube videos that I put out, I'm not a big fan of Candace Owens, and it seems like she is the biggest walking contradiction I've ever seen in my life. And I'm 35 and I've seen a lot of crazy things, but man, once again, she takes the #1 prize for that. And we're going to be talking about Mr. Kanye West, and seems like the downward spiral that we're watching in front of our eyes, and one thing that we can do to keep him accountable before something bad or tragic happens. But once again, power to you, power to me, power to the people, and yes, power to the pod. So, of course, like I said, we're going to be talking about Mr. Biden and his State of the Union speech. It's been about a year and some change since he's been in office, and I would have to say his overall speech, if I had to grade it, if I was like a teacher, just watching, yes, I watched the whole thing from beginning to end, and at first thought, he didn't really mumble or stumble his sentences too bad. He misenunciated some words, but I mean, who am I to judge on that, because I'll probably misenunciate a lot of things. But for the most part, at first sight, while you're watching it in real time, you don't really think nothing of it. It wasn't Obama good, you know what I'm saying? He didn't inspire us to do better and look after one another. But it wasn't as bad as a Trump speech. You know what I'm saying? He didn't name call anyone. He didn't, just randomly talk about things that is not even important, like toilet bowl waters and all that weird stuff. It wasn't that bad, but I mean, that's really a short bar to kind of, vote anything. But at the moment, it was like a B plus. At some moments, it's like, okay, he doing this thug dizzle out there. But then when you start to listen again on some of the major subjects he was talking about, and, after the speech, after the State of the Union, some of the Republicans and Democrats, did their interviews talking about, Biden, whatever. Then you start thinking it was horrible. My B plus went down to a D plus, and the plus was just being nice. You know what I'm saying? Because I like this suit. You know what I'm saying? That's where the plus came from. You know what I'm saying? And it's the more I just think about it, the more I dwell on some of the subjects, and kind of the low key, salutes to the Republicans, so he doesn't, lose too much faith, from them. I start thinking the whole speech was pretty much whack. You know what I'm saying? The platitudes, pretty much making promises he can't keep. And then I start thinking, what did he really prove to us this past year and some change? Nothing. I mean, I don't want to say nothing, because he even did mention he passed, a handful of bills that he had to reach across the aisle with, and he, just to kind of flex his muscle that he knows how to do that. He can reach across the aisle to Republicans and kind of get some things passed, which, if we talked about it, is essentially important, but to an average nigga like me, an average dude, I don't really care about probably half the stuff he passed. I want you to pass things that will literally affect me. You know what I'm saying? Like things that I can feel with my hands. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm rubbing my fingers together. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want. And I don't have student loan debt, you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure 60-70% of dudes who are kind of struggling with those loans would have loved that. And I'm not a hater like that. I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, I didn't accrue that because I'm smarter, so they should. Like, no, help them brothers out. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's going to be money pumped back into the economy, which is going to be, I mean, I guess essentially better for everybody, right? You would think they would think that, but I mean, I guess it doesn't, because if they haven't done that, then I guess it doesn't help the economy, which is not going to help me overall. You know what I'm saying? So, but one thing I would have loved is, you know, free college, free community college. Oh my God. If you would have said that on a Tuesday, my black behind would be in college on Thursday with a handful of classes, and I would have picked something to study under. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have taken advantage of that, because not something like that doesn't just happen every day. You know what I'm saying? So everything that he was promising during this speech is like, bro, your own party didn't even allow you to pass some of this stuff. Some of the stuff you promised at the beginning, which what got you into office. So now you expect me to believe anything you're saying? Like, bro, like I'm not the sharpest, you know, knife in the kitchen. I'm not the highest grade of weed out there, but bruh, come on. Come on, play. I'm listening a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But check this video out, or not this video, check this audio of him talking about not defunding the police, but funding the police. It was cute how he kind of flipped it, and everybody's standing and applauding. And you know, when the Republicans start applauding, you know something happened, because throughout the whole speech, they just gave dirty looks and heckled, but just a few moments, they stood up and applauded. And that should make you think like, wait, hold on. What did you say? But go ahead, listen to this, and I'll be right back.
I know what works. Investigating crime prevention and community policing, cops who walk the beat, who know the neighborhood, and who can restore trust and safety. Let's not abandon our streets or choose between safety and equal justice. Let's come together and protect our communities, restore trust, and hold law enforcement accountable. That's why the Justice Department has required body cameras, banned chokeholds, and restricted no-knock warrants for its officers. That's why the American Rescue Plan that you all provided $350 billion that cities, states, and counties can use to hire more police, invest in more proven strategies. Proven strategies like community violence interruption, trusted messengers, breaking the cycle of violence and trauma, and giving young people some hope. We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police, it's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them. Fund them with resources and training. Resources and training they need to protect our communities. I ask Democrats and Republicans alike to pass my budget.
So my question is, defund the police? Did you really have to say that? Did you really have to stomp all over at least a little glimmer of hope of what defund the police really meant? You know what I'm saying? Like, just with him kind of squashing what was left of it. Now, if anyone says defund the police, not only they're going to quote like Tucker Carlson or some other weenie out there, now they're going to be like, you know, Joe Biden doesn't even agree with defund the police. So what are you talking about? So defund the police, if you guys don't know, if you're listening to this and you don't know what defund the police is, like, I'm glad you are listening. Defund the police is essentially redistributing the funds that police stations and I guess, like the overall police funding that the state gives to these people, just redistributing to departments or structures that will need it to kind of best suit the community, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like social workers. You know what I'm saying? If there's like some sort of person with mental health disorder, or that has some sort of disorder, and you can't really communicate on a normal basis. Like, you don't need a dude who just got out of the academy who's a little trigger finger happy handling that situation, because we've seen how that ends. You know what I'm saying? You can have someone right along with the cop who is trained to speak, to actually, that thing that, what is it? That human beings do, starts with a C, communicate. Yeah. That word, communicate. Cause a lot of these cops don't do that. They just kind of assess the threat and then go from there. And it's like, bro, this old lady ain't no threat, bro. She obviously not in her right mind. You don't need to like do a full Nelson on her. Like, bro, that's doing a little too much. But they aren't trained to do that. You know what I'm saying? And with the whole, they raised up like $300 billion. It's like, you don't want to put that into some of these communities that obviously low paying jobs, poor education, just their environment is just trashy. Like, take some of those funds, put those into the communities, and then maybe people might have a change of heart. You know what I'm saying? Because I live in one of these communities, and just making your environment cleaner and more appealing makes a difference. Trust me, I know. I don't live in some suburbs. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust me, brother, I know. You know what I'm saying? The reason why people are robbing other motherfuckers, you know why? Because they ain't got no money. So if you provided jobs that pay really good money, and you don't need like some crazy college degree, don't make it too unreachable, then maybe they might work. You know what I'm saying? Put some money in these schools, and maybe some of these kids can learn some things. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But just to give the police more money for supposedly training, like, what were they doing before? They weren't training? You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't doing any training. But all of a sudden, like, you had a bright idea, like, oh, now we're going to take all this money and give them training. It's like, bro, if they weren't training good from the get-go, what do you think they're going to do with all this extra money? I tell you what they're going to do. Get a whole bunch of military grade weapons, military grade trucks, cars, bulletproof this, bulletproof that, because they want to kind of feel like the military. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's been happening, and that's what's going to happen. And of course, somebody's going to line their pockets, because this money just doesn't go to where it's supposed to go. It's going to kind of slip into somebody's pockets. They're going to get a little rich. They promise their friends that they can, slide a couple $100. So of course, slide them some money. So, but what that kind of rhetoric does, what Joe Biden is saying, not defund the police, fund the police. You're going to lose the little trust from black voters that you had. It's like, brother, you was just saying defund the police to get my vote. Now you're saying we're not going to defund. We're going to actually give them more money. Not, we're going to just just kind of cut their budget a little bit, or we're just going to keep it neutral, not going to even touch it. No, you want to give them more money. And one of the main things that black voters really want is change to policing and change to the judicial system. That's what we want. If you could just do that, brother, you're going to go down in history as one of the greatest presidents out there. You know what I'm saying? Just do that. But no, of course, Joe Biden wanted to appease, some of the Republicans by shouting, fund the police. And it's like, bro, you're doing yourself a misjustice. And I promise, in a couple months, if I don't see some real change, some real tangible change, bro, I ain't voting for him. You know what I'm saying? I would dedicate episodes to making sure people understand why they shouldn't vote for him. Make this dude a one-term president and let these future presidents know if they don't deliver, you're out. There's no one strike, that's all you get is one strike, bro, and you out. You ain't gonna get your 8 terms and set off into the sunset, bro. It don't work like that. But one person that I do not mind clowning on every moment that they give me a chance is Miss Candace Owens. Okay. If you guys don't know this, if you guys don't know this person is probably one of the most annoying puppets for the Republican Party I've ever met, because she's a woman of color. And if given enough money, they will say anything. I mean, shoot, it could be anyone. I mean, if you gave me enough money, like if you gave me like $5 million right now, I might have to think about it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna give me $100. You ain't gonna give me $500. You ain't gonna give me that. I ain't gonna, I'll slap your cheeks off. You know what I'm saying? But if you do some millions, I don't know. I might have to pretend like I don't know some things. But go ahead, listen to this, and tell me if you can hear the contradiction. Now, let me set it up, because if you guys haven't seen the video, you won't understand. But she is on stage at the CPAC event, and she's wearing a pantsuit, black on black pantsuit. And she's on stage talking to a crowd of people. Go ahead, listen to this, and tell me if you can kind of hear the contradiction.
I firmly reject this arrangement, and I hope that you guys will as well. You see, in my mind, I believe that the state began assuming control over our households through a very successful campaign that began with radical feminism in the 1970s, which said to women, don't stay at home. Go be like a man. Go to work. Why would you want to stay in the kitchen? Don't make him a sandwich. These ideas that were quietly and subliminally planted into even my mind in the public school system. If you want to be successful, success is not marriage, success is not children, success is climbing the corporate ladder like men. That is the only way to achieve equality. What a wonderful opportunity that represented for the state. Because in mother's absence, the Department of Education began raising our children. And today, we are reeling from the aftermath of that custodial transfer.
So my question is, why is she not in the kitchen making a sandwich? You know what I'm saying? Like, she literally said, they want women to act like men, climb the corporate ladder, all that crazy stuff, and don't raise your kids and just be out there working. And my question is, what is she literally, not literally, literally doing? One, she's wearing a man suit. Like, what happened to wearing a dress or a skirt and, just having big pearls and, do all the girly stuff with the makeup and stuff? Like, no, she's not doing that. and she has a kid. Who's watching the kid? Is the kid at school with a nanny, with her husband? But it's not with her, because she's on stage. And if the kid is like somewhere running in the back, or, you know, it's like, no, your kid's supposed to be at home learning, get an education by mommy. But no, she's not doing that. But she's literally saying that's what the Democrat Party wants to do. And that's kind of how it's been doing for the past couple of decades now. It's like, you're literally not in the kitchen. Get a fork, slap some mayo on that sucker, and gets to feeding. That's all you need to be doing is feed. Feed, sleep, and clean. Right? But what she is really supposed to be talking about, if she was to really be honest about what she's saying, is, one, women weren't treated equal back in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s and so on and so forth, because it just gets worse from there. You know what I'm saying? But at the least, voting. I mean, that's simple, right? Like, women didn't even have the right to vote. So just because a woman can at the least vote, is that making her into a man? No, it's not. No, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just ridiculous to say, oh, you're trying to be like a man because you want to vote and have a voice. Nah, that's a little weird. Choices. Why can't women have a choice to be like, you know what? You know, just because every marriage is different. My marriage is not going to be like yours. So if the man wants to stay at home and take care of his kids and family, while the wife might have an amazing job and just making a whole bunch of bread, like, do what you got to do. Like, that's your setup. That's your marriage. Handle your business. Nobody should be critiquing and judging your marriage. That's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? As long as no crazy stuff and slaughtering of children is going on, like, take care of your family the way that you want to. And even just deeper than that, like, opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a woman does have the skill and the job credentials to move up to a CEO, you know what I'm saying? Or a judge on a Supreme Court seat, like, let her do that. What's wrong with that? Like, we're supposed to be all created equal, right? Like, you're a Christian, right? And God didn't like say, hey, a woman's supposed to do this and a man is like, and I must have missed that part. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he said that, please let me know. But as far as I know, he didn't say that. So why can't, if a woman has an opportunity, make things happen, have a dream, chase that sucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it happen. And if she is married, her husband is supposed to, if he loves her, assist her with making that happen. Because if you win and she wins, y'all both win. You know what I'm saying? That just opens up more doors for the both of you guys, more money. And I mean, money doesn't make happiness, but like, damn, it makes you comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Money makes you comfortable. And at the least, assault. You know what I'm saying? Like, if women were not to be even looked at as equal as men, what's stopping you from getting your behind whooped once you got off that stage? You know what I'm saying? Like she's not thinking about simple things like this. Like, and you're literally on stage spouting this stuff. I'm surprised no one yelled in the stage like, idiot, get off the stage. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. And a lot of people are eating this up. And it's like, that's literally the Republican Party, like a bunch of contradiction in some suits, honestly. But last but not least, a brother that we shouldn't be even paying attention to. Okay, Candace Owens we can pay attention to, and every chance we can get, we can point out her contradiction and hope and pray that she's listening and just quit while she is ahead, while she's young, and she can kind of make better life decisions. But Mr. Kanye West. Now, let me say this. He is at least one, like, my top 5 hip hop artists. I was young when he came out with The College Dropout, and he blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? Just the realness, the rawness. He said what was on his mind, and that's why we loved him. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, he's kind of slipping and sliding everywhere. And even with the Trump thing, you know, with the MAGA hat, we still called him out on his crap when he said slavery is a choice, or slavery was a choice. We look beyond that because we understood, especially my generation, understood what he provided to folks like us when he first came out. You know what I'm saying? I still bump his music. I ain't going to even lie. But now what he's become, oh man, I just got to shake my head. And it's funny. And you know what they used to say, like, it's funny until somebody gets hurt. It's all fun and games until somebody hurts themselves. You know what I'm saying? When you were a kid, rough playing at home, you know, with your siblings, just, you know, jumping off the couch, you know, playing WWF with your brother, and you're slamming them and Stone Cold Stunner and, you know, doing the people's elbow, and your parents will say, hey, you guys are all laughing. But until you accidentally hurt somebody, then someone's going to be crying. Then you're going to be crying because I'm going to have to whoop your behind because I done told you 20 times to stop playing in my living room. Okay. Same situation here. It's all fun and games. Yes, he's posting funny memes, funny pictures, you know, talking about, oh boy, I forget his name. I don't even really know him like that. Like, it's weird how he's like putting a spotlight on this dude. But Pete, not Skeet. I'm not gonna call him Skeet. His name is Pete. His mama named him Pete. Okay. It's all fun and games until somebody hurt themselves. Now go ahead, listen to Mr. D.L. Hughley. I love this guy. This is what he kind of encouraged me to kind of do what I'm doing now, because he's such an eloquent speaker and he just keeps it honest. He doesn't really doo-doo on people, you know what I'm saying? But he's really honest and he speaks with authority and power, you know what I'm saying? But listen to this and let's figure out a solution for Mr. Kanye West.
Kanye and Kim.
Sure.
You know, I felt it was kind of, you know, in the beginning it was somewhat funny seeing him just post all this stuff about Kim and Pete Davidson and everything else like that. But as it's beginning to drag on, he's really, really terrorizing this woman online.
It's never been funny.
Well, you know, I mean, he put like the Marvel posters. So I found it kind of amusing. You know, there's definitely a comedy slant to what he was doing at one point. But then it's like, all right, you're telling people to, you know, they want to beat up Pete Davidson, you know, got him in a chokehold. He's reposting all these text messages. It's like 20 posts a day.
I just never, the difference between him and the other dude that get restraining orders on them is hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right, because he bought a house across the street
That's not
from her house.
Listen, I think that I've watched too many times where things like that happen and a woman or somebody's not believed and then things escalate.
Yeah.
He is stalking her. You could think it's cute. If it was my daughter, I'd do something about it. I don't think it's funny. I think that you can't write a beat so good that you get to do these things. And society laughs it off because they say, well, she's showing her ass all the time and he's this and he's that and it's that. At a certain point, it is not unusual for men like that. The difference between him and a restraining order is about 20 hits and a couple of $100 million.
So just like D.L. Hughley said, it's not funny. Because if this was happening to your sister, your best friend, your daughter, your niece, whatever the case is, okay, you wouldn't be laughing. You know what I'm saying? If Kanye West was just some regular dude, okay, forget the millions, forget the name recognition. If this was just some regular hotshot dude who got a little money, you know what I'm saying? He ain't a millionaire, but he's working a good job. You know, so he got the, you know, the nice clothes, the car, and, you know, he's a little flashy, and he's taking advantage of his power, his you know, that ego, you know, with some money. It's not a good mix. He's using that to stalk your daughter. He's using that to embarrass your niece. He's using his emotional problems to dog your best friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude literally moved across the street from his now ex-wife. You know, they finally got it sealed. She took West out of her name, so now she's just Kim Kardashian. Like, bruh. And then today, or not today, but, you know, a couple of days ago, he posted a video. The same day that, you know, the divorce was finalized, he posted a video, and I didn't watch it because I'm not going to support. I'm not going to give no views to nothing like that. But essentially, him burying Pete, you know, and it's like, bro, like, don't nobody see this? Why? And we're laughing? This is funny. Right? Like, this dude is literally bullying this guy, and Pete ain't said not a damn. He said, you know, he's laughing, and, you know, he's being the best version probably of all of us. Because if old boy was talking to me like that, I might have to roll up and kind of, you know, let him know what's up. You feel me? Like, and Pete's just laughing, but we're laughing because of a bully. Black folks, really? No. I'm talking to black folks here, okay? I'm shaking my head right now. You can't see me, but I'm shaking my head. What y'all doing? We really gonna encourage this kind of action, this personality to be acting like this? Oh, because it's funny. His self-destruction is our entertainment, right? Really? That's how we moving now as a people? We don't hold nobody accountable. But soon as a white boy says nigga or nigger, then we want to trip. But when one of our own is acting like a weirdo, I don't know what other word to call it, a weirdo, we're laughing. Don't nobody want to hold him accountable. Or at least very, 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 very few people wants to hold him accountable because it's funny. Well, damn, if you honestly think this is fun, I hope that it happens to you. No, not to you, but someone you love, and you can't do anything about it except laugh. That's what I hope. But of course, I just don't like to point out situations. I don't like to just put out a problem and be like, yeah, we shouldn't do that, which, you know, we shouldn't. But a solution that I can only think of to a problem like this is don't give this guy any attention. Do not listen to his music. Do not keep egging him on social media. I don't care if this dude runs around New York, Madison Square Garden, just butt naked. Just keep walking. Just keep walking and be like, get out of my face, crazy guy. Because that's literally what he would do for attention. I mean, this dude walked around with a mask on his face. Like a whole mask over his face, man. Like, okay, you know, like, we cannot give him attention. And yes, like I said, he's one of my top 5, definitely top 10 rap artists. And I think he's a genius in his own right. And I love his music. But if I got to stop listening to him, I will, just to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? Just like Kaepernick, when they kind of blackballed him and people were like, oh, we're not going to watch the NFL for like a week. Like, nah, I haven't watched an NFL game since then. I don't even like football now. It's like it's been that long. You know what I'm saying? I will not listen to Kanye West for as long as I need to until he gets his stuff together. Because what's going to happen is he's going to accidentally kill somebody, kill himself, or end up in jail for harassing, stalking. One of his fans is going to do some dumb things and just to kind of get in with the, the ha-has and the he-he's and the, the publicity. Or he's going to get on some drug problems. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he's honestly going through some things and he doesn't have real honest people to help him kind of cope with this breakup and this divorce. So he's going to turn to drugs because that's kind of what happens. I mean, we can just look at history. Like, that is no other option. He's going to turn to drugs, and then next thing you know, he's going to be on some tabloids because he took a dump on a police car. You know what I'm saying? Like, with some Timbs on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just going to spiral out of control, and it's going to be our fault. No, well, hold on. It's going to be your fault because it's not going to be mine. Because after this, I'm going to have to delete all his music off my phone. You know what I'm saying? I got the Apple playlists, and I'm just going to have to delete all his songs because I will not. I mean, I'm just one simple guy, but I will not give him any attention while he's acting like this.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join the conversation by subscribing. Make sure to tune in next time, and like always, power to you, power to me, power to the people, power to the pod.